Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! Good morning, bitches! Hello.
Good morning, bitches.
Welcome to season 3.
Episode 52.
Mm-hmm. For those of you keeping track.
Mm-hmm.
And we know you are.
Welcome any new viewers.
Yeah.
So we decided to mess around with the format a little bit. Last season, we were listening to records that were important to us and learning some songs from them, etc., etc., etc.
You know, you were there.
You were there. Season 3 is going to be
Basic bitches go to the movies.
Basic bitches go to the movies. So what we've done is we found a list of movies. It's the Entertainment Weekly
Top 10
cult movies. We looked around at different lists.
So many lists.
So many lists. A lot of the greatest movies ever lists have pretty much the same films on.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't want to watch 2001.
I mean, I'll just let that be. But the problem with a lot of those lists is that, yes, a lot of the films are pretty boring, and they're all mostly, it's not very diverse. The films aren't really all that interesting unless you, really want to dive into that. But, listen, I love a lot of those movies. I love Citizen Kane. 2001, I get it. I know that it is long and pretty boring, but there are things about it that I appreciate. Do we need to watch it? No.
It's really a once in a lifetime movie.
Yeah. I don't really want to watch the Godfather trilogy. I don't. I'd watch Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Yoda.
Casablanca. Always down to Casablanca.
So
but anyway, we
wanted to do something that was a little bit more interesting. So we're going to run through top 10 list. On Tuesdays, we will talk about the film, give you a little context, a little bit of background, talk about our experience viewing it, things we picked up. And then on Thursday, we will perform an original song we have written about the film.
Yes. And some of these films are going to be easier than others to write songs about. And this list starts with a real doozy. So today we're going to be talking about the Shawshank Redemption. And on Thursday, we will be playing a song we've written about the Shawshank Redemption.
If you got to start somewhere.
Go straight in with the
Shawshank Redemption. Which, I think surprised both of us that it was considered a cult classic. But I think, the definition of a cult movie is something that no one really cared about when it first came on, but slowly started to build a following.
Yeah.
Until it was a huge movie that everybody knows
I think
about.
the other key thing with a cult movie is that it has a rabid fan base.
Yes.
Because I discovered there's people with all kinds of theories about what the Shawshank Redemption is about.
Yeah, we did some research, folks.
Yeah.
But apparently the Shawshank Redemption, when it came out in 1994, which we discovered was also the same year that Pulp Fiction came out.
I think it was the same week that Pulp Fiction
Which
came
is
out.
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Probably nobody cared about this movie. But it was very big on the rental market.
Yes, that's where it got big.
And also it was played regularly on cable television, which is where I have seen it the most times.
Well, because I remember, so 1994, I was 12, so I wasn't going to go see the Shawshank Redemption anyway. I mean, I remember Pulp Fiction being a really big deal, but obviously I didn't see it until a year or two later. But I remember there being a point of time in the 90s where people would talk about the Shawshank Redemption being one of the best films ever made.
Absolutely amazing.
Which is I'm glad we watched it again because I didn't remember it particularly fondly, and it's a little hokey.
Yeah.
Parts,
did it have any redeeming qualities for you?
No, I did enjoy it, and I didn't fall asleep, which is the highest praise I
really
can give
impressed. We sat down to watch it, and I was like, I'll give her 20 minutes.
Right, because it's 2 hours 20 minutes long, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it, and I'd forgotten how incredibly sad the subplot of Brooks, the old man,
it's absolutely
who gets
brutal.
released is.
But it's these are, so to be clear, this is a movie that I have always kind of enjoyed, in the background, because I've seen it in bits and pieces on cable television for 1,000 years. but I had never sat down to intentionally watch the whole thing from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
So there were like, I knew about the many different subplots, but like something that really became clear to me in sitting down and watching it again, which is an obvious point of the movie, is about like the tragedy of institutionalizing people in prison. I mean, and it is, as I have also taken some time in the last year or so to, educate myself about the prison industrial complex. This movie really does talk about that. It talks about exploitation. It talks about prison labor. It talks about institutionalizing it. But, at its core, even though there's these really sad, super brutal subplots, it's a very hopeful movie.
Yeah, it is, and it was interesting as well. Like it touches on so many things. It is a little bit sprawling. It was based on a novella.
Yeah.
But Frank Darabont, who wrote and directed it, kind of expanded quite a few of the little narrative streams. Because there is like a whole bit where the warden is starting to make a ton of money by exploiting the prisoners as workers. And that's almost glossed over, but like, because it's set in between 1949 and 1967 or something.
Yeah.
So it's spanning quite an interesting part of time. One of the things that we both noted the second the movie ended is that like Morgan Freeman's experience as a black man in that period,
not addressed
both in prison and when he gets out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, I know that the part was not written as a black man. He's called Red because the character is Irish in the book.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So that bit where he says, "I guess it's because I'm Irish."
Oh.
That was like in the book, not as a joke, but is weirdly a joke in the film. That's
no
not
mention
touched on
of that
at all. And I guess that like it was already written without a black character, and they just went with the script as they had it. But there's also like 3 black men in that prison.
Yeah, right.
Which,
I mean, even though it's set in Maine, the demographics in prison, as we all know, unfortunately, would still be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, it didn't dawn on me that this was based off a Stephen King novella, which makes sense that it's set in Maine because everything Stephen King writes is set in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's supposed to be set in Maine and in New England, there is like a distinctly Southern feel to the entire experience. Like,
it was shot in Ohio.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, like it opens with the huge like helicopter shot.
Yeah, which is incredible.
And we were like, where the hell is that?
This?
Because 1994, that's not CGI. They found this prison somewhere.
Yeah, that's a real place.
It's a real place. Apparently people go visit it a lot.
Yeah. We also discovered in our research that the roles that Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman play were initially...
Well, what it was Rob Reiner also wanted to make Shawshank Redemption, but he wanted to make it with, I think it was definitely Tom Cruise, and I think it was
Harrison Ford
as Morgan Freeman.
What an absolutely terrible, terrible film that would have been.
And apparently Tom Cruise actually read for it, even with Frank Darabont.
I can't imagine anybody else in those roles. And
also,
to be fair,
two other people that
acted.
passed on it. Two other people that passed on the Tim Robbins role were Kevin Costner.
He was busy with Waterworld.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks,
who was doing Forrest Gump.
Yes.
So, you know what? Good. Because
Tom Hanks in that role would have been fucking dreadful.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I think it is casted perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is really, really well acted. I mean, I like the look of it too. Something that also kind of struck me as we were watching it is that even though it spans close to 2 decades, the only way you can tell the passing of time is how the characters age, which is a subtle thing, but really speaks to that institutionalizing and that sense of being completely sheltered off from the world and or they realize that time is changing when new inmates come in, and they
Yeah, it's
have,
like when Gil Bellows comes in, he's got his sideburns.
Yeah,
and-
sideburns, and he's like, you know, the 1965 rock and roll guy. But things like that, you know, when I just caught it in passing halfway through, I didn't really think about, but sitting down to watch it in full definitely brought some of those things to the surface. I mean, I think it is a good movie. I think it's a solid movie. Does it have its flaws? Yes, absolutely. Does it have its blind spots? Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and we were reading reviews last night, and some people saying that like some of the subplots, there were too many subplots that didn't need to be there, which I both agree and disagree with, because I think some of them, most of them, are crucial to the story. It's like, if we don't have the Brooks subplot in the library, then Tim Robbins wouldn't end up doing people's taxes, and then if he didn't end up doing people's taxes, he wouldn't end up working for the warden, and if he didn't end up working for the warden, then we wouldn't have a story. You know?
Yeah.
So there's some of that, but I think I just have like a higher tolerance for like very long, slower paced movies. Like,
Well, the part of it is also like it was long, but because of all the subplots, it actually didn't drag.
yeah,
It wasn't like really long because people were having a lot of very, very drawn out conversations.
Right.
It was really long, so a lot of stuff happened.
yeah.
Which I think is why I didn't fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. There you go. We've watched The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, and you know, that is our synopsis. Those are at least the things that we've kind of taken away from it after watching it, and you know, I think it surprised me that it was at number 10 on that top Entertainment Weekly's top 10 cult movie list. But you know what?
There it
Why
is.
not? I mean, I think out of all these movies, it is probably the most mainstream.
Yeah. So should we run down the list?
Yeah, let's run down the list. So at number 10 is Shawshank Redemption. Number 9, Blade Runner. Number 8 is Scarface. Really not looking forward to watching that one. 7 is Repo Man, which neither of us have seen. Number 6 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I'm very excited about. Do you want to do the top 5?
Sure. Number 5 is Pink Flamingos, which I somehow managed to never see. 4 is Harold and Maude, which you haven't seen.
I have not seen.
3 is Freaks, which I haven't seen. 2 is Rocky Horror Picture Show. And 1 is Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
So
Number
Rocky
9.
Horror and Spinal Tap are going to be interesting writing songs about
Songs
things
about
that already have songs in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be doing one a week. So next week will be Blade Runner, which Crystal hasn't seen.
I haven't, and you know, we could talk more about that when we get there. But
Mhm.
you know, it'll be exciting. So,
Um,
yeah. But we should start to wrap it up here. So on the days that we talk about the movies that we've seen, we are going to play one of our own songs.
Mhm.
In the break, we've written some new music, and this is a brand new song.
Yeah, this is hot off the press. This is called CAPSLOCK. So we will be back on Thursday with an original song that we have written about Shawshank Redemption. So just get excited preemptively for that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, this is CAPSLOCK, which is not about the Shawshank Redemption.
No, it's not.
Okay, ready?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's a guy you don't remember from high school. He's a guy you don't remember from a party. He's a guy who's friends with your cousins or something. He's a guy you don't remember at all. But he read everything you have to say and thinks you're missing some points. He's gonna tell you about it every day. You come out of his way of thinking. Before you know it, he got angry on the internet. He's gotta show you he's the toughest guy in town. He's got his caps locked on. He's got his caps locked on. He's got his caps locked on. And he's coming for you. And he's never backing down, never giving up, never backing down, never giving up, never backing down, never giving up, never backing down, never giving up round to you. 'Cause you don't know what you're talking about. She's a girl you don't remember from grade school. She's a girl you don't remember from a party. She's a girl who worked with your mother or something. She's a girl you don't remember at all. She said everything you had to say and she thinks you're missing some points. She's gonna tell you about it every day. And you come out of her way of thinking. Before you know it, she got angry on the internet. She's gotta show you she's the toughest girl in town. She's got a CAPSLOCK on. She's got a CAPSLOCK on. She's got a CAPSLOCK on. And she's coming for you. And she's never backing down, never giving up, 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 round to you. And she's never backing down, never giving up, 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 round to you. 'Cause you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. We'll see you Thursday.
Bye.
I get it.